Welcome into the next day of Mindset Mastery. We are on the second piece of the magic word in attitude. So hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you're in proximity for every single piece we discover together in this blitz. You will be amazed at the success that you now hold, that you now attract because of posturing up what's in here and realizing what the heck you're made of. Now, the second piece of this magic word, attitude, the realization of that's the stemming point for every piece that you've succeeded with, for every piece you have lacked in your life. Health, wealth, abundance, relationships, all the things stem from the composite of your attitude. Now, the composite, the formulas, the pieces of attitude, beliefs, behaviors, and habits. Beliefs is what we're going to talk about today. It's that second piece. Or behaviors, sorry. Haha. We talked about beliefs yesterday. Behaviors is where that's that second piece. That's the emotional attachment of why you're acting the way that you are. Go back a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the knowing doing gap and recall to your memory what we talked about previously about praxis, the fusion of belief with behavior. You have to integrate, you have to put together, much like a composite of attitude, you have to put together what beliefs you have and the behaviors you then choose because of how you feel about something. It's called perception, right? If you're not behaving the way that you want and you're behaving just as you do, you're making a situation what it is based on your behavior. If you don't like what you're doing, stop doing it. It's like the excuse or the reality someone has because they've told themselves this story too often. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time for that. I just can't make time for that. I just lost time. I don't have enough time. I run out of time. I woke up too late, didn't have time to do that. I showed up late to the meeting. I was rushing for time. Time. Excuse, excuse, excuse. And because that person persisted in that belief about what time is, their behavior then never has enough time, shows up late to meetings, never has enough time through the day. They run out of time. Time is pressured for them. And if you want to flip that script, you have to change how you behave about time. But how do you change how you behave? You close the gap from what you know and you put it into what you do. You got to close that gap, right? But how do you actually close that gap? Well, it's a simple process. Take note. It's that simple. And it's something that I hope you do starting today. How you close that gap about your time crunch, about the time pressure, about not having enough time is flipping it into the word priority. If you were to say, I didn't prioritize my side hustle today, I didn't prioritize going to the gym. I chose not because it wasn't a priority to kiss my husband goodnight and to have a good relationship with him. If you were to actually narrate those things, you would start prioritizing them because saying it out loud makes you feel silly and dumb for not choosing that priority, right? Rather than saying, I didn't have time to say goodnight. I was too sleepy, right? I didn't have time to connect with my spouse today. Yeah, you did. Because everyone else and their dog can if they prioritize it. I didn't have time for my side hustle today. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. It's about being in awareness of where you did spend your time. And if it feels silly, maybe for a minute or a few days, you narrate what it is you're doing so that you can call to attention where you are prioritizing and in what you are prioritizing. That is how you shift your behavior. That is how the second piece of attitude, that magic word to your success, can be shifted. You need to put into practice your priority and flip away from the crunch or the reality or really the excuse of no time. Because the logic, what you know, here's the knowing doing, right? Here's the logic for the knowing part. We're going to solidify that gap. We're going to crush it down. What you know is everyone has the same amount of time per day. What you know is that the most brilliant scientist, Albert Einstein, let's say Steve Jobs, let's see Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, anyone who is the absolute best at what they do, they had the same amount of time to get to where they are as you do. So if you want to be the most brilliant in your field, you want to have the most brilliant marriage, you want to have the most brilliant health because you are healthy in your mind, your body, everything that you do, you need to shift into what your priorities actually are and stop talking about how you don't have time, but behave differently around your time because we all have the same amount of time per day. It's just a matter of what you prioritize. You got value from this, please drop a like. If you have a thought or question, drop it below. I'd love to hear from you. And we'll see you on the next video with Grace Kirsty.